Morning and welcome to World Talks on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. The Polish-Belarusian journalist Andrzej Poczobut, who is serving a prison sentence in Belarus for political activism, has been transferred from a solitary confinement to an ordinary cell. Poczobut was arrested in 2021 as part of a crackdown on the Union of Poles, an organisation representing ethnic Poles in Belarus. At his trial, he was accused of inciting hatred and sentenced to 8 years in a penal colony. Poland's government has repeatedly lobbied for his release and acquittal of what it says are politically motivated charges. Does this mean a softening of the Belarusian president's attitude to the journalist? And if so, why? And why now? To explore these questions, I am joined by Anatol Kotau. He's a Belarusian Democratic Forces Forum member. Good morning, Mr. Kotau, and welcome to TVP World.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. So what has brought this about? You know, he's been in solitary confinement for 3 years, and suddenly he's transferred. He's back in normal prison conditions. What happened?
First of all, we should stress that there is no reasons, there are no grounds to keep Andrzej Poczobut in prison at all. The only grounds for him to be there for almost 4 years is that he is Polish, he is journalist, and he is decent man, and that's it. So, of course, he should be immediately released from the prison. But recent acts, the softening of his regime could be a sign that Lukashenko is preparing for different scenarios of his so-called upcoming elections in 2025 in January. And one of such scenarios envisages that there should be some room for negotiation with Western countries, especially with Poland. And of course, Andrzej here is a key for solution, for opening a window of opportunities for Belarusian regime. That's it.
Understood. Before we go into a bit more depth, can you tell us what you know of Mr. Poczobut's condition? How has he been treated? Is he well?
Unfortunately, there is almost no news about his condition. All we can assume is just to compare his physical condition to other Belarusian prisoners in regime's prisons, and they are, of course, they are weak. It's not some sort of retreat for a person to be in Belarusian prison. It's torture itself. People are losing weight. They don't receive enough food. They do not receive enough vitamins. They do not receive enough sun. So I would say that 1 year in Belarusian prison, it results in something like 3 years of life, because the regime, by just depriving people of even imprisoned ones by decent conditions there, they are depriving them from health also.
Understood. Now, in July and August of this year, Lukashenko also released, not transferred to a normal prison cell, but released prisoners who were old, who were sick, and so on. Is this part of a trend in Belarus? And what you talked about negotiation or a negotiating stance for in preparation for his election next year. How would it be used?
Actually, people who have been released from Belarusian prisons, it should be noted that they have been released after Poland issued so-called ultimatum to Lukashenko and crossed the railway transit just for 36 hours. And people, Belarusian opposition should be thankful to Poland, because this is the only the only situation then such massive release of political prisoners has happened in Belarusian contemporary history after 2020, especially. So, on the one hand, it was a result of the tough actions of Poland. On the other hand, it's some sort of preparation for upcoming elections in Belarus, because Lukashenko also always relied on some balance between West and East, or actually between East and West, between Russia and Western countries, European Union, United States of America. And he was trying to keep his autonomy, negotiating with each of them, offering some steps. If we speak about Russia, of closer integration, and if we speak about West, of not going closer to Russia. And now we can see, now one can see that there are no signs, real signs, that Russia supports his seventh term, because it's against the agreements or arrangements they have reached with Mr. Putin in 2020, that presumed that Lukashenko will step down, that he will adjust the constitution, which has been already done, and that there will be a new president in Belarus, probably totally loyal to Russia. Lukashenko right now opposes. He all of a sudden announced early elections in Belarus before the Trump inauguration in United States of America. And understanding that he has now enough support from Russia, he tries to be prepared for some negotiations with the West. And of course, the key issue, even to start some sort of negotiations, some sort of talks with the West, it's to release political prisoners. And of course, he keeps in mind that Poland here plays a crucial role as a closest neighbor, first of all, of Belarus, and the country which has introduced most tough attitude to Belarusian regime by now.
Understood. Now, this is quite fascinating, is it not? I mean, we have Russian military assets stationed in Belarus, which Putin is using to threaten other countries. How is Lukashenko going to move closer to the West? Simply by releasing these prisoners. The West isn't going to take him at face value, and Putin is not going to be particularly happy by it. How's it going to work?
That's true. Right you are. This could be extremely tough exercise or tough challenge for Lukashenko. But during these 30 years of his ruling, we have witnessed many times that he is trying to escape impossible, difficult situation for him. And this one he faces right now is the most difficult, probably during his 30 years of ruling, because he has no clear support from Russia. He is dependent on Russia, and he knows that Russia, if Putin doesn't give money in 2 weeks, then they will meet one by one, eye-to-eye meeting. This means that Lukashenko is in trouble. And the only thing which Lukashenko will try to do is to have some talks with the West, and he will ask for some guarantees of his life and his freedom, and knowing what could be done by Lukashenko, he could betray Putin. He constantly betrays Putin. And the recent leakage of his talks with Prigozhin just great witness, great proof for it.
Understood. Now, you mentioned the pressure or influence that the Polish government has exerted over Belarus, which has led to this. What is it that other international organizations, countries and so on can do to put even more pressure on Lukashenko to release more prisoners?
Unfortunately, we can say that the only efficient instrument is that used by Poland recently this year. Because what can do different international organizations and unions of states, such as European Union or United States, they can impose more sanctions.
Right.
They can put this iron curtain, but this anyhow strikes into Belarusian people.
Yes. Now, just in the last few seconds that we have left, Mr. Kotau, a very quick question. Do you believe that continued pressure or influence by the Polish government and others will result in, or is more likely to result in a release of Andrzej Poczobut?
For sure, any tough actions which strike into Lukashenko's pocket, they will bring us at some result, and recent actions by Polish government showed this very clearly.
Well, we look forward to that happening. Unfortunately, we're going to have to end it there. Mr. Kotau, thank you very much for taking the time, and I suggest a glass of water is necessary.
For sure.
Have a good day, sir. Bye. And that's all from us in this episode of World Talks. Don't go away, lots more coming up. Bye for now.